Hi, this is Mackenzie Rhodes for the CAA number 3 Historical Timeline. I am going over the No Child Left Behind Act of 2001. This is an act to close the achievement gap with flexibility, accountability, and choice in order to ensure that no child be left behind. States must annually assess the progress ELLs in listening, speaking, writing, and reading in grades K through 12. For the state of Texas, this assessment in the Texas English Language Proficiency Assessment System, which is aligned with the ELPS cross-curricular student expectations. I go on to talk about the English learning overhaul into law. So there was a 2002 ballot law in Massachusetts that was passed that required school districts with English learners to be taught in sheltered immersion programs. This law passed through the Senate and House of Representatives without hesitation to provide support and recognition for students who are proficient in both English and other languages. The English Learner Roadmap. The roadmap, unanimously adopted by the State Board of Education in July, is an online resource for school districts that will help guide curriculum, instruction, and standards for the 1.4 million English learners in the state's public schools. This is a law designed to help the school district and their teachers on how to meet the requirements of the federal and state education laws set for English learners. This law requires the school district to obtain the opinions of the parents in the community on the development and creation of programs. The picture shows different principles of what the California English Learner Roadmap entails and all that they need to provide a system that will require that allows the parents and community to help with English language learners. National Defense Education Act of 1958. This was passed after the launch of Sputnik, which was a satellite from the Soviet Union on the space exploration, in our attempt to compete with them and to strive for our own space exploration. This is the first effort of the nation to improve on a national level in foreign language, mathematics, and science. Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Elementary and Secondary Education Act of 1965. The Civil Rights Act banned the discrimination of race, national origin, and sex in public facilities. This impacted the education system by providing steps to include equality in schools. The Elementary and Secondary Education Act of 1965, which was created to help students with a low socioeconomic background. These were strives from the U.S. to help students be more equal and receive the same education as everyone else, which explains the picture that I chose for this slide. This goes on to the Brown versus Board education. This is where schools were now banned from segregation so that everyone can receive equal education. This decision was made by the U.S. Supreme Court in 1954, which had a huge impact on the education system today. The Bilingual Education Act, or Title VII. This is the first step to assisting students with limited English skills in the Title VII of the ESEA, signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1968. It provides different kinds of resources for school districts to train teachers and aides, encourage involvement from the parents, support educational programs, and help develop and distribute instructional methods. This was created to promote bilingualism, both in the nation and in schools. On to the Lau versus Nicholas. This was a case in 1970 where a lawyer learned that the reason why his client's child was failing school was because he could not understand the language the instructor was using. This is where schools were being sued on the basis that their students were not receiving the equal education because of their limited English skills. This case fought for the right for English learners to have the same resources and better accommodations to excel in school for equal education. Castaneda versus Pickard. The Equal Educational Opportunities Act of 1974 was used as a tool to help cases such as this. This 1984 case was a call to require special help and accommodations for English learners to ensure all their needs are being met. The Teresa P. versus Berkeley. This case in 1989 was the second test after the Castaneda versus Pickard to see if school districts were providing proficient help to English learners. A school was accused of providing insufficient and inadequate resources, staff, assessment, and placement procedures for LEP students. This concludes my presentation over the historical timeline on the effects of education cases and acts that will help bilingualism and English learners throughout time. Thank you.